4171 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the Street 919 FM.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you're doing well, and it's nice to have you with us this morning. I hope that you're keeping safe despite the weather. And I am Brent Dyette from Kingdom Health Services and Training Institute, and we are located at 91 Eastern Main Road, St. Augustine. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 318-7471, 318-7471, as well as 484-0141. And you're tuned into today's program, Health and Healing, Merging the Old with the New. So we'll be discussing, those remedies, those practices that our grandparents would have used in maintaining good health whilst introducing and merging new techniques that are available to us today. Today, we want to start a new discussion. I know for the last month of June, we looked at digestive health, digestive system. But this time, we're looking at cardiovascular health. So we want to look at the heart and its effects on the body and the importance of the heart. So do you know, according to the World Health Organization on their website, in 2019, the leading cause of death globally, or the world's biggest killer, was ischemic heart disease. And that was responsible for roughly 16% of all the deaths globally. And that was then followed by stroke and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. All three of them were responsible for the three top causes of death globally in all countries in 2019. As I said, ischemic heart disease that actually was responsible for 16% of the world's deaths, roughly 8.9 million. Second, stroke, which was roughly 11% of the world's total death rate, as well as obstructive pulmonary disease, which was a total of 6% of deaths globally. So in other words, 1/3 of all deaths globally was as a result of heart disease. So, that's an area we need to pay a lot of attention to because of it being responsible for 1/3 of global deaths. So these are some signs and symptoms that you can, examine yourself that would give an indication if you have or may be suffering, or there's a potential of you suffering from heart disease. If you experience chest pains or pains in your left arm, left shoulder, or left jaw, cold sweats, chronic coughing, especially when you're lying down, nausea, swelling of the lower left leg, edema in the feet, where your feet are swollen and it's puffy, and you could poke it or press on it and it would leave a dent. Lack of energy upon exertion. So just walking a few steps or a few feet can have you feeling very tired, as well as if there's heaviness in your legs when climbing stairs or walking uphill. These are some of the signs and symptoms that you may have or potentially can have heart disease. Other risk factors could be obesity, insulin-resistant diabetes, high cholesterol and blood pressure, a history of family disease or a history of heart disease in your family, rather, being physically inactive, smoking, eating an unhealthy diet, depression. These are some of the additional factors that can actually lead to you suffering from heart disease. So I want to just touch on some of the causes. So it's important for us to know the root cause of heart disease in order to address it effectively. Because if you don't know the root cause, you'll just be addressing the symptoms, and it may address it for a point in, a particular point in time, but it would keep reoccurring. So if you can find out the root causes and address those root causes, your health can be restored. So firstly, we want to look at the arteries. When our arteries are clogged, it obstructs the blood flow to the heart, and that in it leads to a heart attack. Then the arrhythmia of the heart, the rhythm of the heart, is also if that is affected, it can lead to blood pooling in different parts of the heart, and that can lead to clogged arteries as well as blood clots, and that in itself would affect the heart and eventually lead to a heart attack. Then you have the heart muscle. If that is not functioning and beating the ventricles and all these areas are not functioning effectively, that in itself can also contribute to heart disease and heart attack. So our arteries, it doesn't just clog just like that. Many things has to occur behind the scenes. There must be, many underlying factors that will contribute to our arteries clogging. Firstly, inflammation. Inflammation, it leads to buildup of plaque, blood clots, and many other, conditions in the heart. So our diet, if our diet is bad, so we eat a lot of refined sugars, a lot of carbs, these high levels of sugars actually contributes to inflammation, and in turn, what the body does, it sends, it produces cholesterol as a way to protect itself, to protect the arteries from being affected by inflammation, and very often it leads to plaque building up in the arteries. If we have low nutrient consumption or absorption, like vitamin E, C, or the Bs, which are very important for, breaking down certain foods and aiding the heart in its function, that in itself can also contribute to heart disease. So our diet plays a key role in the prevention of heart disease and even in becoming vulnerable to heart disease. And very often we pay little attention to our diet as it relates to heart disease. There are different ways you can actually examine yourself, different scans that can be done to examine the heart. For example, you can do a chest x-ray, you can do blood tests, you can do the electronic cardiogram, the ECG, exercise stress test, MRI, which is the magnetic resonance imaging, echocardiogram, CT scans, and the coronary CT angiogram. So all of these scans can give you, a good indication, a good outlook and understanding of where your heart is if you're experiencing some of the symptoms that were mentioned before. However, I want to introduce you again to some of the new cutting-edge technology, which is based on frequency scanning, infrared. So it's not dangerous to the body. No radiation is being released, but it uses infrared, and it's called the resonance scanning, the biophilia machine. It functions based on NLS technology, where it sends a signal to the brain and different organs of the body. And based on where it's functioning at, the organs then sends a signal back to the brain and then to the machine. And we're able to analyze and, evaluate not just your heart, but your overall body's health condition and health status. And how it functions, I mentioned before that the body is electromagnetic. You may touch a refrigerator, a car door, doorknob, and you get a little shock. And every organ of our body has its own voltage or frequencies. So it's like appliances. You have some appliances that are 220 volts, 110, 15 volts, 12 volts. And every organ has its own voltage, own frequency. And whenever that frequency drops, different health issues occur at different levels. So the machine now scans or sends a signal to various organs or the entire body, all systems of the body. And then based on where it's currently functioning at, it begins to diagnose what is happening. And it can also detect what can potentially happen in the body. So this is the biophilia tracker, and we offer it. And in fact, it is a combination of all these scans in one. And you're able to detect what is not only happening in the heart, but in the body. So I want to give, a few health tips of how to prevent heart disease or to take care of your heart, to produce a strong heart. As I said, very often we don't pay enough attention to diet as it relates to our heart health or cardiovascular health. So vitamins like vitamin A, a deficiency, or even calcium. Calcium, it assists in the contraction of the heart, the muscles in the heart. And a deficiency in it can lead to tetany, which is simply, a twitching in the left eye or the left arm. I'm not sure if any of you have experienced that before, but I have. And it's a deficiency of calcium. And we know that the heart, it is a muscle, one of the main muscles in the body, and nutrients, vitamins, minerals, they play a key role in its function. So calcium, a deficiency in it would affect the heart. It helps in the contraction of the muscles in the heart. Magnesium helps to relax it. So if you don't have enough magnesium, it will lead to cramping in the feet or the heart not being able to relax as it should. So a combination of calcium and magnesium would be very beneficial for our heart health. For persons who may have clogged arteries, there are different means of chelation to clear the arteries. You have EDT, and there's a product called Blockbuster, where many persons who would have had strokes, heart attack, they come to me, I recommend it because it has EDT in it, and it acts like a bulldozer in clearing the arteries. So I want to recommend, certain foods that are rich in calcium, potassium, magnesium, as well as vitamin E and vitamin C. They would be very beneficial to your cardiovascular health. So in Kingdom Health Services, we provide customized health solutions to meet both you and your family needs. So we have come to the end of today's program. I want to encourage you to pay attention to your heart. It's one of the areas that many persons don't pay attention to. It's the top causes of death globally. So it means that we need to pay attention to it. So I'm looking forward to us meeting again next week, God's willing, here on Street 91.9, every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can call me at 318-7471, 318-7471, as well as 484-0141, 484-0141. And at Kingdom Health Services, we provide customized health solutions to meet both you and your family needs. Have a great day, everyone. Have a safe weekend, and see you again next week. God's willing.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Every hospital.
Tune Tune in to The Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 91 Eastern Main Road in St. Augustine. For the program, Health and Healing, merging the old with the new with Brent, Dyette. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on The Street 919 FM.
Entertainment, information, conversation.